Bizarre Brain Comics. Yes. Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics, where I'd like to talk about all kinds of comics and break down the art. Try to show it as art and literature. It's modern mythology. This really plays into that. No Ranger. Okay, today I want to talk about the Thunder Agents, and that's with a period after each letter. Thunder. Thunder Agents. Going to feature a story in this particular issue right here. This is Thunder Agents number 7 from Tower Comics from 1966. And in case you're wondering, what's Thunder? Thunder stands for the Higher United Nations Defense Enforcement Reserves, which actually means absolutely nothing. Consult the Big Book of Knowledge. In Thunder Agents, Tower Comics began this title in 1965. And the Thunder Agents are a team of superpowered special agents for an intelligence agency sponsored by the United Nations. The unique thing about the Thunder Agents is that they, for them, this was a job. And none of the agents had any superpowers intrinsically. All their superpowers were derived by technology, such as the Thunderbelt. Another one has a helmet. A couple of them have special suits that do stuff. And in the case of No Man, he was just a man, a scientist, who was able, through technology, to project his consciousness into any of several android bodies all around the world. And he and then as No Man, he also possessed a special hooded cloak, which allowed him to become invisible, hence the term No Man. And the title was created by Wally Wood and Len Brown, which is kind of funny because the main character's name is Len Brown too. Inspired by the successful spy movies and TV shows such as The Man from U.N.C.L.E., they combined the spy genre and the superhero genre for a unique take on both. And it ran for 20 issues between 65 and 69, and it was later reprinted by various publishers, and several of whom then added to the canon, published new Thunder Agent stories, and over the past 40 years. Okay. Now this story is unfortunately they don't give credits other than when the artist signed his work himself. So I don't know. See, this is a Dynamo story. That's a particular one of the Thunder Agents, Leonard Brown, codename Dynamo, and he's wanted for treason. That's what this one's about, and it's drawn by Wally Wood. He is a fan favorite, at least has been. Don't know how many modern fans even know about him, but that's why we're going to talk about him. So it doesn't give any writing credit. So it may have been any number of writers, including Wally Wood, because Wally Wood was a capable artist. And this has a little more of the feel of a Wally Wood story. Okay, Wally Wood is from 1927 to 1981. And he was an artist, writer, and publisher, because he, at various times, he published his own material on comics and magazines. And Wally's art was strongly influenced by the work of several artists, primarily Alex Raymond of Flash Gordon and Hal Foster of Prince Valiant, among others. After a short stint in the Army, he went to school at the Minneapolis School of Art, but only stayed for one term. Then, in New York, he briefly attended the Hogarth School of Art. Remember Hogarth? Of Tarzan comic strip. He worked for a time as a background artist on the Spirit strip for Will Eisner, and eventually he began working for EC Comics. He did some other little comic things in there, but this is what he's best known for which he's best known, doing primarily science fiction, adventure stories, humor, and some horror stories. And he was a frequent contributor to Mad, published by EC. That's both the comics and the larger black and white magazine format. Then after that, he turned to he did various work for Timely and Marvel over years, and best known there for Daredevil. And before moving to Tower, where he created the Thunder Agents. And over the years, he's worked for various publishers, virtually everybody, and self-published books himself. But he is well known for his extremely beautiful and sexy women, as you'll see here. And in fact, he's so well known for it that a lot of what he did through the later 60s and 70s was adult in nature. Not graphic, but just featuring a lot of nudity. Because some of them were for men's magazines. And I'll show you some of that sometime in the future. Now, let's take a look at the Thunder Agents. Okay, here we are with the Thunder Agents number 7. Now, this is a cover drawn by Wally Wood, and the character featured here is Nomad. No Man, the android I spoke of. Now they usually had. He was one of the more popular characters, but the most popular and the main character is Dynamo. It's right here, and as I said, well, here's another one I've got. Unfortunately, the cover was missing from this one when I bought it secondhand, but that alone, that splash page right there, makes a beautiful cover. And I said published by various other publishers, because here is Hall of Fame Thunder Agents from JC Comics. Don't ask me. And again, that's Nomad. This is a Steve Ditko cover, and he did some interior art. He worked some Thunder Agents as well. See here first one, Dynamo, and this is a reprinting material, whereas this here is some original stuff. I have others someplace that are other publishers that are original. This is from 2011. This is from DC. You can see Thunder Agents, and it has a distinctly different look right there. And of course, about the time, part of the influence was, of course, the success of the Batman TV series, which was influenced a lot of stuff in the mid-60s. And when I talked about the Mighty Crusaders. That was big Batman TV show influence in there. And I showed you a paperback book of High Camp Superheroes. That was the title. Well, Tower did a similar thing. I have these three. I don't know if they published any more. It's just reprinting materials from the regular comic in paperback form, laid out and stuff. And these are three of their most popular characters: Nomad, Mentor, and Dynamo, a man of High Camp. This is probably the first one to come out. But even though the title is Dynamo, it says Nomad and Mentor stories in it. And I think of course, all these characters crossed over in their other characters' stories, and then there were stories of the entire group. Now, I showed you that one book over there that was reprinting a story, and then is this in it? Oh, not this one. I thought it was reprinted in one of these books too. Maybe it is later, farther back. So that is some of that reprint material. Now let's get going here. The Thunder Agents. Dynamo wanted. Leonard Brown, codename Dynamo, suspicion of treason. And here he is, breaking the fourth wall, speaking directly to the reader. He's hiding out in a space in the sewers of the city. And then he tells the story. He showed up for work, and they've discovered that the place had been broken into. Some high security, top secret documents have been stolen, ripped out of a safe, and it looks like it was all done by hand. So they automatically think of Lynn, because Lynn, Dynamo, has this here called the Thunder Belt. This belt, when it's a piece of technology, and when it's energized, the wearer, and it's keyed specifically to Len Brown, so no one else can wear it and get the power. It makes him extremely strong and dense, so he's bulletproof and probably bomb-proof too at the time. So they suspect that he is the one who did this, that he may have been turned traitor, but they can't have no direct evidence, so they keep a watch on him. So he goes on. He is on a date with Alice, who's also there works at Thunder headquarters. And here's his other buddy walking around, keeping an eye on him. Then he's walking down the street, and oh my gosh, here's this gorgeous redhead. And he's walking, wow, what a dish. And she speaks to him, follow me quickly, I'll help you lose him. Yep. So he follows her, and she tricks him, because he's suspicious anyway. She tricks the guy. They go through a revolving door, and she jams the door so the guy can't get in. And then she takes him, Len, to her apartment, introduces herself as Rusty, and then she reveals that she knows that he is Dynamo. Excuse me, another sip of my tea. Then he makes a connection why he thinks she's so familiar. You're the Iron Maiden, who has been a recurring villainess for Thunder Agents. And yep, that puts two and two together. He confronts her, and he collapses because she had drugged his drink. And there she is in all her armored splendor. Like I said, very beautiful, very sexy women for Wally Wood. And then she reveals how they framed him. Got this kind of a tank here with mechanical arms. That's what broke through the wall and into the safe. And then they have had a double, and they continue doing this stuff to frame him even further while he's a prisoner, and has a double in his thunder suit, his suit and with the thunder belt on, even though he can't use the power, making it look like it was Dynamo. So there is in the papers, Dynamo wanted for treason. And all this while she's now that he's fully framed, she gives him his stuff back and lets him go. Then the cops are after him, but he can't. So he has to turn on his belt to get away, so they can't shoot him. And he went plowing through a bunch of walls, so it proves that was him. He goes to Thunder headquarters and all the agents, because there are also a plethora of non-powered agents. They're just regular spy types, but the ones with the superpowers are the elite. And this is forgotten his name. They just call him the chief. He's the boss guy. They do have his name, but I've forgotten it. And even Alice, the lady he was with on a date, accuses him. So the other Thunder agents come in to capture him. Well, he takes off. And here he is, hiding out. And says, I have a date with the Iron Maiden. So he goes back to the apartment. Of course, she's not there. She's abandoned the apartment. As he leaves the apartment building, someone is there to pick him up. Says, over here. And they take him to the Iron Maiden. And of course, this is the 60s. Everyone smoked. So here she is, lighting up in her full regalia, smoking. Of course, this trench-coated spy type guy, he's smoking too. And she says, join us willingly, because we framed you, they're all after you. So he says, yeah, okay, I can do that. And she revealed, totally revealed the plan of framing him and stuff. But he was wired. And the Thunder Agents crash in. The rest of them come crashing in. Even without the power of his Thunderbelt, he's kicking butt pretty good. Then he turns it on when they start shooting at him, because then he's bulletproof. So he cleans all their clocks, and the agents get in. But he does kind of, oops, I tripped and blocked the shot that was going to get the Iron Maiden. Because, of course he did. Because there's something going on. It's kind of like Batman and Catwoman. There's always this thing going on between them, right? So, and it turns out that in a previous story, she had saved his life. So now he's returned the favor. He said, okay, Iron Maiden, the score's even. Next time we meet, you won't be contending with Leonard Brown, the man, but Dynamo, the Thunder Agent. The end. Hang on. Okay. And see, and these books were, I think, 64 pages. It was 25 cents. It was larger than normal, and it was anthology. Some of the stories were concurrent, and some went right after another. But as they had. Here's Lightning. He's another one. And this is drawn by Mike Sikowski from Justice League. Justice League of America. And there's one, I think, again, it's not credited. I think this is George Tuska. I'm not positive, but it sure looks like his work. Who used to do Iron Man for Marvel. There's No Man. And has Dynamo, and they have various. Oh, here's a good thing showing the characters. Of course, this is an ad, and this is just a character page. The Iron Maiden. See some other ads from Tower Comics. There's a war comic, an Undersea Agent, and I'm not really sure if Undersea Agent. And this cover was by Gil Kane. If Undersea Agent has associated with Thunder or not. But you can see here, this is, I don't know who drew this. It's familiar, but I've seen this stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to focus on Wally Wood, but this is to give you an idea. Because Wally Wood, he was very good. Okay, as I said, He has beautiful anatomy and good action. Not as dynamic as many of the other artists, even though he did some very dynamic stuff for Marvel too. But it is, I mean, that's pretty dynamic right there. That's why he's called Dynamo. Just the way he's smashing through there. Beautiful human anatomy. His backgrounds are. Let's see if we can't see the good backgrounds here. It's beautiful backgrounds. You can see the apartment background there. It's all very good detailed. Light, the shadows. Very illustrative. And good panel-to-panel storytelling. What can I say? You can see, because you can see a good example of his anatomy there. And of course, beautiful example of her beautiful anatomy right there. And of course, in that figure right there. Wally Wood. He was a master craftsman. And master at storytelling. And kind of a seductive pose for that figure of the Iron Maiden. And a good way of doing the two-head over-the-shoulder shot. And the reverse right here. And a slightly different version. Now, this could have been done very boringly as talking heads. But the progression and the artwork, the storytelling. Because here she's being seductive. But here he is. It's like he's succumbing. She gets closer and closer to him until the stuff hits the fan. Another good figure, and he's real good at doing these gangster-looking fellas too, with the guns. He's just great. Wally Wood is wonderful stuff. Well, he will be showing up again some other time with some other stuff. He also did a lot of fantasy stuff. His fantasy stuff was that he wrote himself was strongly influenced by J.R.R. Tolkien and The Lord of the Rings. And that shows up in his work. And you can see a theme in a bunch of the stories he wrote leading up to, which I don't think he ever completely finished, a trilogy that he was working on. That was a combination of text and illustration, not all straight panel-to-panel comics format. So that's what I've got on now on Thunder Agents and Wally Wood for now. And of course, great character Dynamo. Actually, he's not the brightest, but I like the character. Fans seem to like the character. So, and there's enough of a interest in the Thunder Agents for them to keep coming back. And I would like to see more, and not just in comics. It would be interesting to see them adapted to a modern movie format. But that's just me. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Share with your other comic book friends. Like and subscribe. And remember, comics are art.